Hi, today we're looking at functional skills, maths, city and guilds. We're looking at the entry 3 sample paper, which is entitled Home Improvements. We're starting with the non-calculator section. Question 1. Work out 830 divided by 4. Right, so we're going to start by using the bus stop method. So we draw a bus stop here. We put the big number, the first number, in the bus stop, and the 4 goes on the outside. We say, well, how many times does 4 go into 8? Well, let's think of our 4 times table. We've got 4, 8. Well, that's twice. It goes exactly twice. So we can put our 2 there. What about how many times 4 goes into 3? Well, 3 is smaller than 4, so it's not going to go into it at all. Now, we haven't used this 3 because 4 didn't go into it, so we can carry the 3 over. So now we're saying, how many times does 4 go into 30? So let's do our 4 times table again. So we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. 32 would be too many. So we're going to have to stop at 28. So that's 7 times. But we've only used 28. So if we go up to 30, we've got 29, 30. So that means we've got a remainder of 2. So we can put these in here. There you go. Okay, question 2. Work out 780 minus 155. So you could do the count up method, but I'm going to do our column method for this. So we're going to write the 780 minus 155. So we start with the units over here, and we say 0, take away 5. Well, if we've got 0 or nothing, we can't take anything away from it. So instead, we need to take 1 from the 8. So we're going to reduce that down to 7. And we can put this 1, or really it's 1, it's a 10. So we're taking 1 10 from here. So we've got 7 10s. We've now got 10. So we can do 10, take away 5. So 10 take away 5, that's going to be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That's going to leave us with 5. We've now got 7 take away 5. So we can start with 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And we've got 7 take away 1, which is going to give us 6. So we've got an answer of 625. Question 3. Which of these shows this lock, here's the lock, after a quarter turn clockwise? If you think the clock is going to turn this way. So we're turning it that way, around here, and a quarter turn. So if we think of a quarter, it's going to be like that. Because if we had a full circle, split it up into quarters, 1 quarter is going to be this section here. So this bit of lock turns a quarter, it's going to be sticking out like that. Which to me looks like this picture here. So that's D. Question 4. Round 764 to the nearest 10. Well, let's think, what 10s are either side of 764? Well, the 10 below it is going to be 760. So let's draw a bit of a number line. We're going to have 760 down here, because that's basically that number, but without the 4, 760. The next 10, well, if we increase the 10 by 1, we'd get up to 770. So a good way to do this is to think, well, where would halfway be? Halfway between 760 and 770. Well, halfway is always going to be a 5. So the midpoint would be 765. Okay. Now anything that's here, we're going to round down to 760. And anything from here upwards, we're going to round up to 770. So where would 764 fall? Well, it's going to be in here somewhere. So that means it's going to be on this side. So the nearest 10 would be 760. Question 5. What is the next number in this sequence? Right, well, we can look at patterns, or we can just say, well, let's look at the difference between the numbers. Now, rather than trying to take them away, we can just count on. So if we start with 13, we can say 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, that's 10, 24, 25, 26. So that's a difference of 13 we're adding on there, plus 13. Well, let's see what the difference is between these two numbers. So again, if we start at 26, we're going 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, that's 10, 37, 38, 39. So that's 13 again. Now we can check the last one from 39 to 52. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 is 10, 50, 51, 52. So that's 13 every time. So we can assume that this is going to be 13 again. So from 52, well, we could count on 13, or I'm going to do a slight shortcut and say 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6. But if you want to count on 13 again, absolutely fine. Question 6. Tick the shapes below that have one or more right angles. Well, I know that a right angle is where two lines meet perpendicularly, which is, best way to do it is to show an example. So that would be a right angle. And often we show it by drawing a little square in the corner. So one or more. So we've got one right angle there. So it's definitely that one. What about with the triangle? Well, this isn't a right angle because it's smaller than that there. That one's not, but we have got another right angle up there. A circle, well, you haven't really got any angles to measure in a circle, so I'm not going to tick that one. A square, well, it's similar to a rectangle. We've got one in that corner. In fact, we've got one in every corner. Same on the rectangle. These are all right angles. Okay, so we can tick that. This triangle, again, that's not a right angle, that's not a right angle, but we have got one down here. So we're looking for this same kind of corner. What about on this triangle? Well, it's not going to fit there. In fact, a good way to do it, if you've got a spare piece of paper, you can see a standard piece of paper is going to have a right angle at the corner. So we can try and see if it fits in. So for example, if I put it in here with the square, that fits in nicely. I've got a right angle. If I try and fit it in here, it doesn't fit. But I can even see that the black line is going up through my paper. So it's not a right angle. So none of these are right angles. And this one here, well, again, let's use my bit of paper. Well, let's try and fit it in here. Well, no, I can see this angle is, this is my right angle. This angle's bigger than a right angle because it's coming out all the way to here. So it's just going to be those four that we've ticked up there. But the trick with something that you know has got a right angle, like a piece of paper, will help. Question 7. Which one of the following is the best to measure the height of a room? Well, this is a thermometer. This is going to tell me the temperature of the room, but not the height. This is a tape measure. This is definitely used for measuring distance. And 10 metres. Well, I'd expect a room to be somewhere between 2 and 3 metres. So this one looks pretty good. So I'll put a question mark for now. This is, and I'll put a cross. I know it's not that. This is scale. This is going to weigh something. So it's to do with the weight, not the height. And a ruler. Well, we could measure distance with this, but I'm going to need quite a few rulers to measure the room. So it could be either of these two, but this one, because it goes up to 10 metres, is going to be better at measuring something that long or that high. Question 8. A man wants to order a box of tiles. The box of tiles costs £29.68. He wants to know the approximate cost for this box of tiles. What is the approximate cost? Well, let's think what's the nearest round number to this? Well, you could think what's the nearest whole number, but even if we could go with tens, I mean, £29.68, we could say, well, we've got £20 down at one end, we've got £30 up at the other. Well, it's already 29 something, so it's going to be, if we had like a number line, it's already going to be a lot closer to the 30. So we would round this up to 30. Right, let's see if I can fit all of the question. Oh, I might have to move the paper up in a moment, but let's start it here so we can read it. A manager in a DIY shop needs to count the stock of paintbrushes. He makes a note of the different sizes. These are the results. Right, now I can move it up. Okay. So, he's got the widths of paintbrushes. So, one paintbrush was 75mm wide, one was 38mm, one was 63, so he wrote them all down. Okay. So now, we're going to count how many of them are 25mm, how many are 38mm, how many are 50. Well, they've already done some for us, but I'm going to check so we can see where they got their numbers from. So how many are 25mm? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 looks good. You don't need to check them, but I think it's a good exercise to do. So how many are 38mm? We've got 1 there, 2 there, 3 there. And you can see I'm going through in a sort of logical order so that I don't miss any. How many are 50mm? No, none. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 there. How many are 63mm? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And how many are 75mm? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can check that every box has been ticked so we haven't missed any out. And the last question in the non-calculator section, we've got a customer wants to buy a new bath. The shop has a closing down sale. The original price for the bath is £696. And they're telling us that all original prices are reduced. Pay only 1/3. What amount of money will the customer have to pay for the bath? Right, so only 1/3 that we're going to have to pay. So we're going to have to see how we can work out 1/3 of 696. Well, if you think of 1/3, it's splitting this number into 3. So in other words, what they're saying is, what is 696 divided by 3? So we can do the bus stop method again. Oh, 696. Nearly wrote the wrong number down. And we're dividing that by 3. So how many times does 3 go into 6? 3, 6. That's twice. How many times does 3 go into 9? 3, 6, 9. That's 3 times. And 3 into 6, well, we had that already. We know that's 2. So we've got an answer that we can write down here of £232. Okay, so now we can go on to the calculator section. Question 1. 49 times 19. Well, this is the calculator section, so let's get our calculators. And we just type in our first number, 49, multiply or times 19, and we get 931. Question 2. Which one of the following is correct? 437 is more than 451? Well, if I think on a number line, I find it helps to write the numbers down. 437, 451. Well, we've got the same number of hundreds, 3 and 5. This has got more tens, so it's not more than that. So it says tick correct. So I'm going to put a cross. I know it's not that one. 671 is less than 643. Again, they've got the same number of hundreds, so let's look at the tens. 7 is more than 4, so it's not going to be less. It's not that one. 556 is more than 527. Again, let's ignore the hundreds, because that's the same number. 50, we've got 5 tens or 2 tens. Yeah, 5 is more than 2. So it's that one. But let's just check the last one to make sure. 857 is less than 839. Well, 8 and 8 are the same. That's the hundreds. So let's look at the tens. 5 is more than 3. So no, that one's not true. So it's definitely C. Question 3. What is the next number in this sequence? Well, with sequences, it's, as we saw in the non-calculator section, it's always good to find what the difference is between the numbers. I'm going to do this because I'm going to write in what the difference is. And we can use our calculator. So if we want to know the difference, we start with the bigger number, so 5.7, and we're going to take away the smaller number, the 4.5. So that means there's a difference of 1.2. Okay, so we're sort of doing the opposite to find out what the difference is. So we've got 6.9. If we take away 5.7, again, we've got a difference. Plus 1.2. So, and we can check that. So if we did 5.7 and added 1.2, it takes us up to 6.9. So for the next number, to carry on the pattern, we're going to need to add 1.2 again. So 6.9 is 1.2. We get 8.1. Okay. Question 4. A shop assistant needs to put a price sticker on all planks of wood that are more than 1 metre long. He has these planks of wood: 85 centimetres, 282 centimetres, 50 centimetres and 350 centimetres. How many price stickers does the shop assistant need? Well, we need to know how many centimetres we've got in 1 metre. And I know that 1 metre is 100 centimetres. Okay, so you need to know this one really to help us. If you think of yourself, you think of your height, you're probably going to be somewhere between, 1.5 and 2 metres. So you can kind of think, well, how many centimetres might that be? Right, we want to know, he puts the stickers on and either more than 1 metre, so anything that's more than 100. Well, 85 is not more than 100, so it's not that one. 282, yeah, that's more than 100. 50, that's less than 100. We haven't got any hundreds, we've just got tens and units. And 350, yeah, that's more. But it's not saying which ones, it's saying how many. Because how many stickers do we need? So it's going to be 2. 1 for each of those. Question 5. A woman orders these items online to collect in the store. She has a voucher for £5 off the total cost when she orders online. We've got a mirror, which is £79.75p. We've got 3 cushions, which are £15 each. And then we've got a rug. Oh, sorry, we've got a curtain pole, which is £32.65. And finally, we've got a rug that is £28.25. Okay, I'm saying 25 pence. We know because after pounds comes pence. We don't need to have a p there to tell us. Okay, and it says work out how much she pays. Well, we can add these all together. But before we just add them together, we've got 3 cushions. So for this one, we actually want 3 times 15. So if we get our calculator, 3 times 15, that means the 3 cushions are actually £45. Right, so now we want to add them all together. So, well, let's start from the top. We've got £79.75 plus 45, because we've got 3 of them. Or you could have added 15 plus 15 plus 15, that's fine. Then we had the curtain pole at £32.65, and finally the rug at £28.25. That gives us a total of, and we can put it right down here, it's going to be in pounds, and it's £185.65. And note it does say give units with your answer. So that's telling us to put the pound sign in there. This is our units. If we were measuring, it would be centimetres or kilograms or whatever, but when it's money, it's going to be the pound sign or euros or dollars, whatever we're using. We've got another part. So question 5. Collection information. Order before 7 p.m. and collect tomorrow after 11 a.m. Or order after 7 p.m. and collect tomorrow after 3 p.m. This is the time when the woman made her order. What's the earliest time the woman can collect her order tomorrow? Give a reason for your answer. Well, this is a 24-hour clock. So that means that once we get up to 12 o'clock to midday, instead of starting back at 1, 2, 3, we just keep adding on. So if we want to turn this from a 24-hour clock into a 12-hour clock, we need to take away 12, the 12 hours of the morning. Okay, so if we take 12 off of that, 18 minus 12, we get 6. So this must be 6. So the minutes don't change, 23. We know it's in the, because this is more than 12, we know it's in the afternoon, so it's going to be 6:23 p.m. Well, it says if she orders before 7 p.m, well, 6 is before 7, then she can collect tomorrow after 11 a.m. So the earliest time she can collect, well, it says after 11, but I think we can say 11 a.m. And the reason is, well, we can say 1823 is 6:23 p.m, which is before 7 p.m. Doesn't need to be those exact words, but something like that. Okay. Then we've got question 6. A man wants to wallpaper a room. He uses this table to work out how many rolls of wallpaper he wants. The measurement around the walls is 6 meters, and the height of the wall is 2.4 meters. Let's move this up. Okay, and we've got this table here. The number of rolls of wallpaper needed. So we've got height going down here, a measurement around the walls going across here. And we use these to find out how many rolls he needs. And it says, how many rolls of wallpaper does the man need? Circle your answer on the table above. So the measurement around the walls is 6 meters. So around the walls is 6. So we want this column. So we don't care about this or this. Now we look at the height. The height of the wall is 2.4 meters. 2 meters or less? Well, no, it's not 2 meters or less. It's more than 2.4. 3 meters or less? Well, yes, it's less than 3. So it's going to be this column. And that means it's going to have to be 4 rolls. Okay. 4 meters or less, well, we wouldn't use this column, sorry, this row, because we know it's 3 meters or less, so it falls into this one instead. Okay. The man checks how much water he needs to make the wallpaper paste. Okay. For 1 to 3 rolls, he needs 2 litres. For 4 to 5 rolls, he needs 3. 6 to 8, he needs 4. He puts some water in a jug. There's our jug. Did the man put the right amount of water in the jug? Give a reason for your answer. Use numbers to help you explain. Right, well, we have to go back and think, well, how many rolls of wallpaper did we need? So we turn back over and we say, it was 4 rolls. So 4 rolls of wallpaper. That's going to be here, 4 to 5 rolls. So that means we need 3 litres. So here's our jug. 3 litres, well that's 3. So it should be up here, but no, it's below that. So did the man put the right amount of water in the jug? No, he didn't. And the reason, well, we can say he needs 4 rolls, which means 3 litres, which is more than what is in the jug. In fact, we can say what's in the jug. Well, the jug is on 2.5. So we can say which is more what is in the jug, which is 2.5 litres. So you don't need to put all of the explanation, but they want to see the key words they want to see are how many rolls, how many litres that they need, and how many litres they've got. Question 7. A woman wants to put up 5 shelves. Each shelf has 4 brackets. Each bracket needs 4 screws. How many screws does the woman need to buy? So she's got 5 shelves. Each shelf needs 4 brackets. Each bracket needs 4 screws. So think of one shelf. One shelf is going to be 4 brackets with 4 screws. So 4 in each. So this is for one shelf. So 4 times 4, we can use our calculator. If you know the answer already, that's great. So that's going to be 16 screws. Well, we've got 5 shelves. So that's going to be 5 lots of 16. So we've got 16 in there already. We can multiply by 5. We've got 80 screws. We'll put that straight in there. Each shelf can hold items up to 8 kilograms in total. She wants to display 3 different items on the top shelf. Okay, there's 6 items there. Choose 3 items the woman can display together on the shelf. Tick the items. Well, before we work these out, I'm going to go with the lightest ones. Okay, and then we'll see what weight that is. But some of these are in kilograms, some are in grams. So we're going to need to know that we've got 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So which are going to be the lightest ones? Well, these 2 are less than 1 kilogram. So I'm going to go for this robin or bird there and this photo frame. What's the next lightest one? Well, 3, 6, 4 or 2. Well, 2 is the next lightest. Okay, so to show our explanation, so we can prove that these will all be alright on the shelf, we need to add them up. So what we can do is, well actually, you could add them up exactly, but we can say Well, 255 is less than 1 kilogram, and 638 is also less than 1 kilogram. Okay. But if they were 1 kilogram, we can say, well, 1 kilogram plus another 1 kilogram plus the weight of this one, which is 2 kilograms, is 4 kilograms. So this is already more than the weight of these items, but that's less than the 8 kilograms that we're allowed. So that's going to be absolutely fine. What you could, if you wanted to do it differently, we could work out the exact grams. So we could say, let's do this over here. We could do the 255, 638, and the 2 kilograms we're saying is 2,000. So we could add all of those together. 255 plus 638 plus 2,000, which gives us 2,893 grams. Now we said there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so if we want to get it back to kilograms, we can divide it by 1,000, which tells us it's 2.893 kilograms, which again is less than 8 kilogram. Okay, so I'll put an or in here because these are two different ways of doing it. I quite like this way because you're not having to do the exact calculation, but you might prefer doing this way because it's a bit more precise. Okay, question 8. The manager of a tile shop needs to know how many tiles he will have after a delivery today. These are the number of tiles before the delivery: 700 wall tiles, 550 floor tiles, and 200 border tiles. These are the items being delivered today. So wall tiles 200, floor tiles 250, border tiles 100. He asks the trainee to work out the numbers of each type of tile after the delivery. Right. Well, we start with 700. We're getting an extra 200 wall tiles, so we're going to add on 200. So 700 plus 200, we're going to have 900. For floor tiles, we start off with 550, and we're getting a delivery of another 250. So 550 plus 250, that gives us 800 floor tiles. And the border tiles, we start with 200, we're going to get another 100, 200 plus 100 is 300. We just need to put those answers down here. So we had 900 wall tiles, 800 floor tiles, and 300 border tiles. Then says the manager tells the trainee to show this information in a bar chart. Right, okay. And they've given us some graph paper here to help us. Right, so what we don't have to do, I'm going to do a vertical bar chart. That's kind of the standard way you'd expect to do it. So we've got 3 things to go along the bottom. So we've got to work out how much of this space do we need for each of the tiles. We want each bar to be the same width, but we don't want to use one bar for each one because otherwise our graph would only be this big. So let's see, we could do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which would use this much of the graph paper. Or we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so let's have 4 for each. So we had wall tiles, we had floor tiles, and then we had border tiles. Now, that's going at the bottom. Now we've got to work out what we do going up the side here. So that's going to be the frequency or the number of tiles. So we can put number of tiles. In fact, at the bottom, we've said what these are, but we haven't actually said what, like the overall term, so we need to say type of tile. Right, so to know what scale we're going to use, what numbers go up the side, we've got to remind ourselves, well, what's the biggest number we're going to go up to? The biggest one is 900. So we could say, well, let's make each of these boxes 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that would go there, but actually we've got a lot more graph paper to use. So let's see, maybe we could do each box is two boxes for each 100. So we could have, so that would be 0. So that'd be 1, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 would just fit up at the top. So I'm going to do it that way. So we're saying every 2 boxes was 100. So if I'm counting down 700, that would be 600, 500, making sure the gap between each of them is the same each time. So 2 boxes for every 100. We'd have 300 there, 200 here, and 100 there. Okay, so the wall tiles, we had 900 wall tiles. So I'm going to get my ruler and draw a nice tidy line, and it was 4 boxes across. So I'm going to draw a line there on the 900. And while I'm up here, I'm going to write a title. Tile types. Then the next one was floor tiles. We had 800. So this column starts there, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to go across like that. And then for border tiles, we only had 300. So we find 300, go across and border. So that's going to go across here. Oh, that moved a little bit. Try and hold your ruler nice and straight, nice and still, not like I did. So I've got the tops of all my bars. Now all I need to do are the vertical lines. I do them all at the end just because I think it's a bit more efficient, but you can do them as you're going along. Okay, and then this one, we've got to go back all the way up to here, and you would usually be doing this with a pencil. And just to finish off this one, there. Okay, and there's a graph. Sorry you can't see it all on one nice piece of paper, but there you go. Hey, then we've got question 9. A woman wants to store paint in her shed. She reads the label on the paint tin. The temperature for storing paint should be between 15 degrees and 27 degrees. She checks the temperature in her shed. Okay. Well, even before we read the question, let's have a look. We can see that the temperature is here, which is pointing at 30 degrees. Should the woman store the paint in the shed? Well, it needs to be between 15 and 27. Well, 15 is going to be halfway between 10 and 20. And 27 is going to be somewhere down here below 30. So, no, she definitely shouldn't. And the reason is because 30 is more than 27 degrees. And that should be enough. Okay. Now we've got the last question of the paper, which is question 10. A man wants to build a fence. He buys fence panels like the one in the picture. Here we go. He needs fence posts that are longer than the height of the fence panel. So this is the height, 1.22 meters. He wants to buy the cheapest suitable posts. A shop sells these fence posts. Which fence post should the man buy? Right, and he wants the cheapest one. So remember, it needs to be more than 1.22 meters. Well, 2.63 that's more than 1.22. 2 is more than 1, so it could be that one. Well, actually, let's put a question mark. Could be that one. 1.82, well, yep, that's more than 1.22. Again, so it could be that one. 1.2 metres. Well, if we look, try and have them both on the screen. This is 1.2, and nothing else. This is 1.22, so this is a bigger number than this one. So it can't be C. And D, well, these are only 1 metre, so they're not tall enough. Remember, they needed to be taller than the fence panel. So it's got to be A or B, and they said to buy the cheapest post, or the cheapest suitable, so the cheapest one that's tall enough. So which is more? £4.99 is less than £5.75, so we're going to go with B. We've just got a part B and part C of this question. He needs to buy 19 of the fence posts. How much will the man pay for all the posts he needs? Right, well, the ones we went with were £4.99. And he needs 19 of them. So we're going to want 19 times £4.99. So 19 times £4.99 gives us £94.81. Part C says use approximation to check your answer. Alright, approximation. So that means rounding, doing numbers that are close. Well, 19, well, what's that close to? Well, if we think of round numbers like nearest 10, well, I suppose you could have 10. The next multiple of 10 would be 20. Well, 19 is only 1 away from 20, so I'm going to say 19 is approximately equal to 20. What about £4.99? Well, if I just went 1p more, that would be £5. So if I want to do a check, I want to do 20 times 5. Now, to do this check, we don't even need to use our calculator, because we can say, well, let's ignore the 0 for now, and let's do 2 times 5. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. Then we just stick the other 0 on the end, and we've got £100. Well, £100 is approximately equal to £94.81. It's not too far off. So that's our check. And that's the end of the paper. Hope you found it helpful. Please like, subscribe to the channel, ask me any questions, leave any comments, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.